Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. May as well get right to this. Sheriff Page is not on with us tonight. That had been our plan and his plan. But the sheriff let us know today that he has a conflict this evening. And won't be able to appear on the program. And he said that I should get in touch with him next week, which I will, and we'll reschedule. So I'm sorry if you were looking forward to seeing Sheriff Page tonight. You won't. Well, you won't hear. I don't. You may see him somewhere, but you won't see him here. But I will be in touch with the sheriff quickly, and we will see if we can reschedule. I get a better time that will work for him to share this hour with us and with you, and talk to you and hear your questions. So we can't do that tonight, but we will do this. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Ken. It is a Wednesday afternoon, kind of chilly, ain't it?
It is. Well, yeah, I don't know if I'd call it chilly or not. It was about 68 degrees here this afternoon. Is that chilly or is that just slightly
No, well,
cool?
I'm talking about now, sir.
Oh, well, I'm not outside now, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not outside. I'm in my house in a warm place.
We should all be in a warm place.
Yes, I'm in my room, relaxing, sit back with a glass of red wine.
Your room? You mean your room? You have only one room?
Yes, I have my bedroom and I have my man cave that's separate from this place.
Oh, because I thought you had really like a cavernous underground accommodation there.
Well, I have a man cave. That's
Okay.
my hangout.
All right,
But I do have one in another country right now.
Okay, but you're not in your domestic man cave right now. You're in your bedroom.
Yes, I'm at home because I got to go to work in the morning.
I don't, but different people are in different situations. Well, yeah, you should get a good night's sleep so that you can be bright tomorrow morning, bright and energetic, and keep things in order. And I'm sure you will.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, come January, I'm going to file for retirement, and I'm going to leave in July, after July.
So you filed 6 months ahead.
Well, I was told by a friend I could do that.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. Retirement, it's something to look forward to.
Oh, yes. And that means I can put it in the, well, certain callers, certain emailers.
Are we talking about someone in particular?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention names tonight. I'm going to give that Chihuahua a break for a while.
All right, fine. We'll leave that at that. Now, as far as Bojangles is concerned, I take it that they have undertaken, have they, a very widespread, extensive, and energetic recruitment process to try to find a replacement for you by July?
Well, I hope they do, because if they give me one, I'll train two of them and let the other two train the rest of them.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that works out.
Well, I have worked long enough. Well, I am still able-bodied and to work if I want to, but I may go back 3 times a week, maybe, before the end of the year, and finally call it quits.
So you may actually continue working a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's a good idea. That's what I did when I retired. I continued working a little bit. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working a little bit.
Well, I got to find me a football team for the for the football season. I'm looking for one.
I'm sorry. There's a motorcycle outside. I didn't hear you. You got to do what about a football team?
Well, I got to find one to pull for this year.
I thought you pulled for the. Actually, I don't know who you pulled for. You haven't been pulling for a particular team.
Well, kind of the Steelers.
Well, let me suggest the Arizona Cardinals as a team that you can pull for. They've won 3 games this year out of 8. It could be worse. It could have been 2 out of 8. And they play in a nice stadium, and there's always good weather out there. And so I think it'll be an ideal team of the Arizona Cardinals. And they've got these really nice black uniforms that they wear sometime.
Well, I take it in consideration. But little brother pulls. You know, he pulls for the Cowboys. You know that.
Well, I know that, and I don't hold that against him.
Oh no, we don't. But we hope we're praying that the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl this year, hopefully. But let's hope the Kansas City Chiefs don't go.
All right. Well, to each his own on that. Um, so there. What about your friend in the Philippines? Does she even know that the NFL exists?
Yeah, but her life is strict. She's focused on what she does. Sports is not really a big thing to her. It's just she's living her life like she likes it.
All right. Well, I can certainly associate myself with that, and we appreciate your call. Thanks for calling.
Bye, sir.
Oh, by the way, you still there? You still there? No, he's not still there. So never mind. Phone line is open. There's a number up there. You can give us a call or you can email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. If you're just tuning in, unfortunately, Sheriff Sam Page was not able to be on the program tonight. He had a conflict arise today, and he can't be here this hour. But we'll be back in touch with him soon. And as soon as we are able to reschedule his appearance, we'll let you know about it. And I'm confident that we will have him here sometime in the near future. We have an email or two to look at, and we'll do that. Just a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Are you on the George Council? How did Sheriff Page turn out?
Well, Sheriff Page, that election between Sheriff Page and Phil Berger didn't happen yesterday. That'll be on March 3rd, is when that election takes place, March the 3rd. As far as the Reidsville Council, I don't have that in front of me. I will get that in front of me at some point, though, and I'll read those winners.
Oh, my.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for calling. Once again, the state Senate primary between Sam Page and Phil Berger is in March. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Again, taking my call. This nice guy.
Hey, nice guy.
Your question.
Okay.
People. Blowing the horn. Let you know that I've left it.
Right.
Does that
Doesn't bother me.
keep doing it, man? Do you
No,
hear it or is it?
I hear it if I'm awake. I hear I'm not always awake.
Oh, okay. You
When-
don't get up till
uh,
you don't
when-
get up at 4 o'clock. I do.
as a rule, no. but I've not heard anybody complain about the horn. I mean, we hear so much noise out there in that road all night long. I don't think anybody notices.
Okay. I'll keep doing it then. I'd help you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I really do.
Read it. Well, you can see that and then work my puzzle.
That worked your
So-
puzzle. I'd say you're pretty good at those puzzles, it seems.
Sudokus, I love them.
Isn't
I
that
can't
good?
work across.
When I started playing that when I had my first heart surgery, which was in 2007. I'd never played it until then, but you know when you're laying around in a hospital bed, you look for stuff to do, and that's when I was introduced to it, and it's great. I love to play that.
Gets my mind to working anymore.
Oh yeah, it's a good thing to get you thinking in the morning, and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
fun. I don't know if I've ever pronounced it correctly. But I'm not quite figured out exactly how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but I do enjoy it.
Can you work a crossword puzzle?
Yeah, I like crosswords too.
Well, you got that to work anyway. I a little bit of it, but I don't do very well.
Well, the truth is, Sudoku, whatever, Sudoku is more fun, I think, than crossword.
Well, yeah. I just wished I could work crosswords, but that goes enough. I've took up too much of your time. Let somebody else call in, and I enjoyed talking to you.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Phone line is open there to that number. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And an emailer has a question about Windows. Windows, the operating system of all things. It's in the news because, of course, if you run Windows on your computer, you know that Windows 10 has reached the end of its life, and Windows 11 is what they want us to have now. Emailer says, Ken, I can hear all this stuff about Windows 10 and Windows 11. I tried to upgrade to Windows 11, but it said my computer wouldn't work. We'll get back to that in a moment. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey,
Hello.
Mr. Eccles, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. I have a question for you.
What is it?
I'd like to know why anybody would be an Arizona Cardinals fan.
That is an excellent question. It's a question worth answering and asking. Because after 50 years, actually, this is my 50th year as a Cardinals fan in two different cities. And in 50 years, I have received no satisfaction whatsoever of any kind from being
Well, you had that year with Kurt Warner.
where they should have won the Super Bowl and then let it slip away. That wasn't much satisfaction. So no, I don't know why a person continues as a Cardinals fan. I've always been one of those sports fans though, where I pick a team and I stay with the team. I don't jump around to whatever team happens to be winning at any particular time. So I guess it's just stubbornness and loyalty is why I'm still a Cardinals fan, and I don't have really any other excuse.
Well, no, I guess the question was, why would you invite someone else to deal with that disappointment?
Because misery loves company, and there aren't very many Cardinals fans around here. I don't know of another Cardinals fan in this entire city of Eden. I mean, it's just me.
Well,
And when
Well,
you're
I
suffering, when you're long suffering, and you get no satisfaction in life, it makes it a little easier if someone else is suffering with you.
Well, I can understand that. That's a reasonable argument. What prompted me to call was that I saw today on one of the sports programs that the Arizona Cardinals are still paying Cliff Kingsbury. So they're paying him. They're paying someone else that they fired from that era, and it looks like they're probably going to get rid of Kyler Murray. And so they're going to be in a wealth or they're going to have a plethora of debt, I guess.
Well, why not? I mean, really, why not? I mean, it just seems right and natural for the Cardinals to have more additional and more and deeper miseries and deficiencies along with what they already have. I think probably it's what nature intended.
Well, the one thing that we do know, and of course, I guess I should remind everybody that I do know this isn't a sports program.
Right. It is not.
But with the way today's NFL is, I guess it really is no more than spending a little bit of money and just getting the right pieces in place. So if they decide to spend that extra money, it's possible.
But they won't. Here's my theory. This is not a sports talk show, not by any stretch of the imagination. I honestly do not believe that Cardinals ownership is that interested in winning. Because the way the NFL is set up, especially the way broadcast revenue is shared and all that, you don't have to win to make money. In fact, you can make more money by spending less and not worrying about winning, because winning doesn't really bring you a significant amount of money that you wouldn't have had before. And I don't think Cardinals ownership, I think they've had a whole series of owners who were not in it to win. They were just in it to make a little money. And as long as they can make a little money, they don't care about anything else.
I can see where you're going with that.
I mean,
Interesting.
how else could you be bad for 50 years? That's a half a century.
Well, let me ask you this. Are they considered a small market team?
In context, yeah, they probably would be compared to certainly New York and Los Angeles and Chicago. Although Phoenix is getting bigger all the time, they're probably in the medium market range now.
Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to get off the phone and let somebody else call. But I don't like the current setup of people, I guess, at the Cardinals. So I'll not root for them. But if you do a rebuild and get some good people in there, I'll root for you.
That'll never ever happen.
All right. Have a good night, Mr. Eccles.
Never ever happen. Emailer was emailing about Windows 10, and the question was, the emailer tried to upgrade to Windows 11 and couldn't do it because for lack of something, as the emailer says, something called a TPM chip, which is a trusted platform module chip. And if you don't have that, you can't run Windows 11. And I'm trying to find the email again here. And we'll just get around to emailer's question. So what if I just keep running Windows 10? It still does everything I want it to do. What will happen to me if I just keep running Windows 10? Well, Microsoft says that if you keep running Windows 10, you won't get security updates, and I'm sure that's true, and that your operating system, your browser, will become more and more vulnerable to hackers. Will continue. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, kids. Mark from Marion.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
That's good. Anyway, I was watching Charles' show today, and anyway, they called mom in to work at Checkers, and she was washing clothes. So she told me to come up there and dry the clothes while she goes to work. And I didn't get to see Charles' show today.
Did you get your clothes dried?
Oh yeah, I got him dried. Yeah,
That's the main thing. You got those clothes dried.
yeah. They called her in at Checkers, so she had to go in at 5 today.
All right. They must have had somebody out sick.
Yeah, it must have been. But I was going to tell you, I don't know the name of the CD yet, but Peter Criss, his new CD comes out December 15th or December 25th. I think you can go ahead and order it on Amazon.com right now if you want to go ahead and do the order or whatever.
The new Peter Criss, for folks who might be saying, Peter Criss, formerly of KISS, 15th or the 25th, but one of those days.
Yeah, but you can go ahead and order it on Amazon right now. That's what somebody told me today.
Well, that's good to know that you don't have to wait for the release date.
Yeah, and a whole lot of times when they do that, when they go ahead and start taking orders before it comes out, they most time release it earlier sometimes.
Okay. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they don't. I've never really understood why they do or why they don't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thought I'd call. I'm sorry Sam Page wasn't on tonight.
Well, he'll be here. Didn't get him tonight, but we will get him pretty soon, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ken.
Well, thanks, Mark. Good to hear from you. Anyway, Windows 10. Here's what you can do if you want to spend $30, and everybody, I was always looking for an opportunity to spend $30. You can pay Microsoft $30, and you can get extended security updates for Windows 10 for 1 year. So if you want to keep using 10 for a while, you can just go online. Well, just open up your browser there and Google a Windows 10 security extension or something like that, and you'll find out how for just $30, Windows will continue to send Windows 10 security updates for a calendar year. That'll be until next October. So that's one thing to know. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, you know I'm doing good, Ken.
Good.
This is a good week for me. First the races, and now last night elections.
Well, you didn't get
good.
any popcorn though out of last night, but you got a tub of popcorn from the races. So I certainly that's the bigger thing, I would hope.
You what's that? Guy used to say, "Can't get no satisfaction."
The Rolling Stones, and I think they eventually did get satisfied, I believe.
Yeah, was that Mick Jagger?
Mick Jagger, that's right.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, was that Mick Jagger?
Yeah, Mick Jagger.
Yeah. And okay, Ken, and look, briefly here. The national stage, American show. This is not the country they want. Important races in Virginia, New Jersey, and New York. Voters chose the Democrats with wins of 10%. Now, that's a pretty good margin. The Virginia governor race was supposed to be close. It, too, was a sweep. And now look for some crooked, intimidating, and uncomfortable tactics, like making people drive 50 miles to vote and trying to get rid of mail-in ballots. If elections were crooked, how did we get this president election? So I don't think they're crooked. Millions have been laid off and the economy is not better. People figure that this president is not because issue his own whip. Given $20 billion to Argentina but no money for SNAP. I want no money for ACA insurance for our own. No money for FEMA to help Western people in North Carolina until you get the state program set up. Now, this is what was observed, and I think a lot of people that was disappointed, and I think things are changing because they're not getting what they vote for. And lastly, Republicans and Democrats requested the Epstein file. They wanted to see what happened when the rich old men was raping and molesting teenage girls and kids like that. But so far, they keep lying to us and refuse to show us the file. So I think they're going to have to be transparent, come clean, before the trust in the party is restored again.
Okay.
Thank you. And the question, Ken,
Pardon?
said, thank you for your time. I just said that, but in the question, did anything surprise you about the election last
The
night?
margin surprised me. I was not very surprised at the outcomes, the winners. I think most of those races, the governorship of Virginia, the governorship of New Jersey, I think certainly the Democrats were expected to win those, so that wasn't a surprise, but I was surprised at the margin.
Yeah. All right, Ken. Well, thanks. Thank you for your show, and see you later. Talk to you later.
Okay, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Phone line is open at that number. The email address, keneccleslive@gmail.com. And anyway, this is the Windows 10 thing. You can get extended protection, as I said, for $30. $30 to Microsoft. And certainly Microsoft needs a little more money than what they have. So you can help yourself and help Microsoft if you purchase that. There are also other ways that you can secure Windows 10. But I'm not going to sit here and keep talking about it because it'd take a long time to go through all that. If you want to read more about it, there's a security guy, online security guy, who is making a particular study and presentation on Windows 10 right now. His name is Rob Braxton, and he has a YouTube channel all about computer security. So if you want to look up Rob, R-O-B, Rob Braxton, B-R-A-X-T-O-N on YouTube, see what he has to say about it. Because there are ways that you can continue to use Windows 10 if you want to do that. As far as 11 goes, I hesitate myself to go to 11 because Microsoft's goal in Windows 11, and they say this is not speculation, this is what Microsoft says, is to further integrate artificial intelligence into your online life so that you are, in fact, says Microsoft, you're in fact sharing your experience with artificial intelligence at all times. Not everybody wants to do that. Truly. Not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. Anyway, look up the Braxton guy, and you can find out a lot more about what you can do with Windows 10 if you want to keep using it permanently. If you want Windows 11 and you don't have that TPM chip, and you're going to have to get it. You're going to have to get an updated computer in order to get Windows 11 if that's something you really want to have on your machine. let's see, emailer says, I read facts about the Dems not wanting the government to open because the Epstein files will then be released. They are all up in that mess, some Republicans too. Yeah, I think that's probably one thing you can count on, is that there are Democrats and Republicans, and apparently whatever they call their political parties in the United Kingdom, and all sorts of people in all sorts of places who would rather not see the Epstein files come to the light of day. But they're going to, sooner or later. All of us may not live long enough to see it, but it's all going to come out sooner or later, one way or another. Ken, I have a question about the Supreme Court. No, I don't know anything about this stuff. I have a question about the Supreme Court. Today they argued about tariffs and whether or not the president has the authority to, without even consulting Congress, put on as many tariffs as he wants to on as many different people. I know you don't know how that's going to come out. That's right, I don't. But you might know this. They kept talking about this thing called the Major Questions Doctrine, and whether or not the Major Questions Doctrine applies to the tariff case. Do you know what the Major Questions Doctrine is? Sort of. I guess I do, kind of know, because it came up quite a few times during the Biden administration. For example, when President Biden tried to do blanket across the board student loan forgiveness, and the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional. You don't have the authority to do that. You can't do that. So he didn't. In that case, that's one well-known case where they applied this major doctrines question. And by the way, in case you're saying, wait a minute, I think he did. It ended up with President Biden was allowed to forgive a certain percentage, a small percentage, relatively small percentage of student loans, because they weren't all under the same circumstances. So we won't go into that. But the major point was, overall, he simply did not have, the court said, the authority to forgive everybody's student loan. The Major Questions Doctrine says, and I hope I can express it in some way that it approaches making sense, that if there is a question about whether an authority lies solely with Congress, or whether the president can also claim a part of that authority without consulting Congress. The doctrine that the court came up with over the years is that if it is a major question, and by major question they mean if it is an issue that is transformational, an issue that has a large, an enormous, a far-reaching effect on policy and operations of the government and the country. If it's just a big, big thing, is another way of putting it, then the only way the president can do it is if Congress in the law put in some explicit authority, mention some explicit circumstance under which the president might have that authority. And unless Congress has put into the law an explicit authority, explicit, in plain language authority, then the president cannot ever claim a section of that authority. It was used in the Biden administration in environmental cases too, in cases that limited what EPA, what the Environmental Protection Agency can do, for example, in certain instances, and in making certain rules and regulations that involved the environment and developmental projects. The court said that the EPA, as an executive agency under President Biden, could not do all the things that the Biden wanted it to do because Congress had not put an explicit authorization into the law and named a set of circumstances under which the EPA could do those things. So how it applies today. The argument today is, did Congress in the EIEIO, those are not the right initials, but the Emergency Powers Law that they passed in 1977, did they identify an explicit authority for the president to have tariffs as one of the things that in an emergency he could use to affect international commerce? And under the major questions test, they would not, because the law did not explicitly mention tariffs. Now, the Solicitor General representing the Trump administration argues that the major questions doctrine does not apply here because the president has inherent authority to regulate international commerce. The other side of the argument is that the major questions doctrine does apply, and since tariffs weren't mentioned in the emergency law, the president does not have the authority. Did any of that make any sense? I hope it did. But that's why the justices kept bringing up the major questions doctrine in the arguments today. So how are they going to rule? I don't know. It's going to be a while before we find out. I don't think we're going to get a ruling on that anytime soon. So we'll wait. We'll wait. The phone number is up there on the screen. The email address is keneccleslive@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you either way, by phone or by email. This one says, Ken, remind me who finished last. Mr. NASCAR, aren't you sorry you brought this up? Remind me, Ken, who finished last in the last segment of the NASCAR contest? Oh, let me look. Why, it was Mr. NASCAR, of all people, who finished last. And thanks for bringing that up. I know a lot of people were wondering about the answer to that question. Ken, that the AC/DC concert in Charlotte, now you'll get back to AC/DC playing in Charlotte in July. Those tickets will be done through Ticketmaster, won't they? Oh, I expect they will. Well, I may not go because I am sick and tired of whenever I want to buy a ticket to go to a concert, I've got to go through Ticketmaster and pay all their stupid, phony, bogus fees added to the cost of my ticket. Why don't these stadiums and clubs stop using Ticketmaster and just sell the tickets themselves so we don't have to pay all that extra money that Ticketmaster makes us pay? It seems to me that that would be better for the stadiums and better for us. Can you cause that to happen? Can I cause that to Can I cause that to happen? Well, I could, but I don't know if I will. Here's why the stadiums and the concert venues don't cut ties with Ticketmaster, is because Ticketmaster, basically what we have is a monopoly. I mean, really. There's this Ticketmaster and there's this thing called Live Nation, which if you've looked up concerts online, you've seen Live Nation. Ticketmaster and Live Nation have merged and they're the same thing now. So what it is Live Nation books these concerts. Live Nation decides where these people are going to play. Live Nation decides where AC/DC and almost everybody else is going to play if they're playing in large venues like stadiums and big coliseums and things. And Ticketmaster controls the tickets. So basically, you've got the one company controlling, scheduling the shows and controlling the tickets. So if Bank of America Stadium, since we're talking about AC/DC, if Bank of America Stadium were to say to Ticketmaster, we're not going to use you anymore. We're just going to sell our tickets out of the box office. We're going to sell our own tickets from our own box office, and we're not going to charge people all these extra fees. So go away, Ticketmaster, and leave us alone. What would happen if they did that? Well, then Ticketmaster, which is also Live Nation, which controls where the concerts take place, would then just turn around and say, all right, then AC/DC just won't play at Bank of America Stadium. If you're going to give us trouble about the tickets, we just won't give you the concert or any other concert the whole year long. So Ticketmaster and Live Nation have a stranglehold on concert venues and concert tickets. And that's why they can basically charge anything they want. And they can add as many stupid, ridiculous, fake, and phony fees to the price of a ticket as they want to add, because the concert venues are afraid that they won't get the concerts if they don't go along with Ticketmaster. That sounds illegal, doesn't it? That sounds like a conflict of interest, if not an outright monopoly. Congress has investigated this twice, by the way. And twice Congress has started investigating this, and then the investigations have just sort of faded away, and nothing ever happened. Is that because Ticketmaster and Live Nation can make such large donations to members of Congress? Yeah, probably. But that's how it is. If you want to see the show, you're going to have to pay the dough. I think that's probably on a plaque, probably above the front door at Ticketmaster. Want to see the show, you're going to have to pay the dough. This one says, can we get back to Windows 11 for just a second? It's just like you said, what Microsoft wants to do with Windows 11 is they want to have their AI, which they call Copilot, right there looking over your shoulder all day, every day, anytime you're on the internet, whatever you are doing. They want their AI to be watching it and recording it and keeping a record of everywhere you go and everything you do and every word you say and every site you visit and every expression you and there's a long list of these. I'm not going to read the whole list. I think we get the picture. Basically, they want to invade your privacy to an extent that we have never seen before. And that's what they want to do with Windows 11. And that's why people ought not to use Windows 11 unless you want to be conjoined at the hip with Microsoft's artificial intelligence, and then have Microsoft able to have your entire history of your entire life and sell it to whoever they want to sell it to. Just forget about Windows 11 and do the best you can without it. Why not switch to Linux? All right. Well, thank you, emailer. I think you probably summed it up. I think you probably summed it up pretty well. Because they do integrate the AI into Windows 11 to an extent that has not been done before. So there you go, folks. There you go. As far as the last thing, why not switch to Linux? Well, I have a Linux. I have Linux on 2 of my computers. Well, there's one I don't use anymore. I have Linux on one of my computers that I still use now and then, and it's a good operating system. It's not for everybody though. Not everybody is going to be happy with Linux, um, but you know, you might want to give it a try. But you might not like it, and I'll just leave it at that. Phone line is open. The number's up there. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. If you tuned in hoping to talk to Sam Page, our apologies. Sheriff Page was not able to be with us tonight. He let us know today that he had a conflict come into play, and he couldn't be here. But he did say if we get back in touch with him in the next few days, that he will reschedule and that he will be on the show at a time that we can work out. And we will get in touch with him and we will work out another time for Sheriff Page to be on the show. And he apologizes and we apologize in turn. If you're disappointed at not seeing the sheriff here tonight, but he'll get here. And it's probably not going to take too long. We'll get him rescheduled and we will get Sheriff Page on the show. Ken, have they said yet when the Reidsville Christmas Parade will be? They have said, and they have said that the Reidsville Christmas Parade will occur on November 23rd. Reidsville Christmas Parade, November 23rd. Martinsville, by the way, is on November 22nd. For those of you in the habit of going to the Martinsville Parade, that's on the 22nd. And then you can, you don't even have to go to bed. You can just stay up all night and be ready for the Reidsville Christmas Parade the very next day on December 23rd. And we all, of course, look forward to that because we get to see Santa Claus, and it really becomes officially the Christmas season when we see Santa Claus, and he'll be there. Ken, you are mistaken. We'll find out what I'm mistaken about in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Well, hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Early Bird. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I can tell you how you fix that ticket thing. Just don't go to the concerts.
That's what I do. I'll tell you what, I haven't bought a concert ticket, at least not through Ticketmaster. I haven't bought one in 2 years, and I'm not going to. As long as they have all the way it is now, I'm just not going to.
I went nowhere like that. Well, I'll take that back. I went to see Tab Benoit in Mount Airy. And that was really a good show. That was a good show.
Now that would have been at a small club, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Now that might not have been a Ticketmaster thing. A lot of the small places, they just sell their own tickets, so you probably didn't have to deal with Ticketmaster.
That's what we done. They got the tickets but they didn't get no Ticketmaster or nothing.
Yeah, good. A lot of the small places will sell you tickets directly. That's a much better way to buy a ticket.
You ever heard of him, Tab Benoit?
I have, yes.
He's good, ain't he, Ken?
He is. When was that show?
It was last year, year before last. I went with some friends.
Yep.
And it was really good. I've never heard of him before. They played it on the jukebox, but I've listened to it, but I've never seen him in person. But he's all right. He's from Louisiana and all that stuff.
Yep, and good guitar player.
Yeah, he's a good guitar, good singer too. Boy, got a good voice. He got one song people kept. He got one song people kept hollering. I can't think the name of it. And but he never did play it. But that's a good song that when they was hollering to play.
Well, it was a good show anyway.
Yeah, and That sure was bad about that ups. Ain't that something? Just the engine fell off the wing.
That's what we've heard, that the left engine fell off the wing. I don't know how in the world that can happen.
I don't understand why they hadn't checked the plane before it even took off.
The way it's supposed to work is everything like that is supposed to be thoroughly inspected. Thoroughly inspect. And how could you miss something that allows an engine to fall off a wing? I don't understand it at all.
I don't either. I just wonder if it was sabotage. You know what I'm saying.
Well, you have to wonder. I saw the investigator, head of the investigation on TV this afternoon, and he said they're not drawing any conclusions right now. They're trying to piece it back together as best they can, but they're not ruling out anything.
Did you see how much? I heard them say how much fuel was on that plane and that wing.
I didn't get that. It's thousands of gallons, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. I think it was in the thousands of gallons.
Yeah.
Sure was. Anyway, I just want to talk about that and tell you about that Tab M1. It was good, and we bought the tickets there.
Well, good for you. Glad you got to go.
Yeah, I am too. That's the first time I've been to a concert. Something like that, and I bet you 40 years.
Really? well, you got it.
Yeah, I don't go. Yeah, I sure did. Somebody I never met, seen or whatever, and he's really good. He's really good musician, singer, and everything. He's really good.
Oh yeah.
Kid, I'll get off phone, let everybody call in. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. We're just about out of time for this edition of Star Talk. But somebody was just telling me I was mistaken about something, which is very unusual. Be a very unusual circumstance for me to be mistaken. So I need to find out what that is. Here it is. Ken, you are mistaken. You are not the only Arizona Cardinals. You are not the only Arizona Cardinals fan in the city of Eden. Don't give my name, please. I'm not going to give your name. Here is the name, though. Here is the name. Don't give my name. I am also an Arizona Cardinals fan, but if it would be known that I am, then I would be just as embarrassed by it as you are. Just as embarrassed by it as you are. In fact, I have a question for you too. That is, why in the world would you ever sit there on television and admit that you are an Arizona Cardinals fan? Because as soon as people hear that, just like that guy who called you, they're going to think that there's something wrong with you. Well, I think they probably think that anyway. They're going to think that there's something wrong with you, and you might have difficulty. You might find getting jobs and successfully applying for bank loans if it comes out that you are an Arizona Cardinals fan. So I don't know why you would just sit there and admit it. Well, I regret it. I don't know why I did it, but I do regret it. I wish I hadn't done it. And let's not speak of it again. And that is all the time we have for Star Talk. Once again, Sheriff Page was not able to get here tonight, but we will have Sam Page on very soon. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I'm glad you could join us and hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Eccles.